Beth that you've all traveled here safely, and I sincerely hope that you've enjoyed your experience here so far, which, by the looks of everyone, I don't think that's really anything to worry about. Before we get going, I figured I should probably introduce myself, even though most of you already know who I am. I'm Jeremy's younger, and on every other day but today, better-looking brother Michael. And you're probably wondering, how is it me, someone who has no experience whatsoever at doing this, presiding over Jeremy and Beth's most important day of their lives? Well, a few months ago, on a Saturday morning, I was in my condo doing my normal routine, which was set after set of bicep curls and calf raises, and I got a phone call from Jeremy. Now, I figured this phone call probably had to do with one of three things: baseball, fantasy baseball, or Jeremy and Beth needed me to watch their dogs the following weekend. However, on this Saturday, I was to be pleasantly surprised to find out that instead I would be welcoming a sister into my family. Now, my immediate response to this, of course, was, "Mom's pregnant?" I don't think that's physically possible. Once that initial wave of confusion had been clarified, and Jeremy had told me no, in fact, Mom was not pregnant, and that it would be Elizabeth joining my family as my sister, my second reaction, of course, was, "Congratulations. It's about damn time." After those first few months wherein their engagement had become public, I began to wonder what my role in today's events would be. My gut instinct told me probably one of two things: flower girl or DJ. However, I was to be pleasantly surprised when Jeremy and Beth asked me to preside over their wedding, and all I can say is that I'm incredibly humbled and honored that the two of you have entrusted me with this. In my opinion, the best part about them asking me to do this is that I've seen the relationship grow from just friends and coworkers to now standing in front of me. And I can attest to times where I've seen the love that they have for one another in action. Before we get to that, though, I want to share a little bit of history of Jeremy and Beth through my eyes. I moved to Denver 5 years ago when I graduated from college. When I moved here, I lived with Jeremy. The second person that I met in Denver was Beth. On the second night that I was here, Jeremy and Beth decided to show me about town, and what better way to do that than to take me to the world-famous Aurora, Colorado establishment, The Stampede, also known as The Pede, renowned for their Wednesdays ladies' nights. I remember thinking at the time how incredibly generous it was for Beth to do that when she really had no obligation to do it. It's the first of many times that her generosity, thoughtfulness, and strength of character has impacted me in such a positive way. As I said, when I moved here, I lived with Jeremy. We lived together for 2 years. And at the end of that second year, I was looking for a place to live because Jeremy and Beth had decided to move in together. It all started with random weekday mornings when I'd hear Jeremy get in the shower before me, which very rarely happens, because he was catching the early bus to go meet Beth for breakfast before they went to work. These breakfasts became a lot more commonplace, and myself and a few of the gentlemen standing over here began to notice that Jeremy was finding more and more time outside of work to spend with Beth. There were many weekends spent around the pool that Jeremy and I lived at, with 1 to 12 adult beverages, discussing the status of Jeremy and Beth. And I'd like to think that those weekends helped give Jeremy the encouragement to finally tell Beth how he felt. Once that was out in the open, Beth simply could not deny her feelings any longer. Not after all the time they'd spent together, and her realizing how funny, caring, unselfish, and super good-looking Jeremy is. Since then, I've seen the relationship grow from trying to find if there really was something between them more than just friends, to standing here now. My favorite moments of watching Jeremy and Beth together typically revolve around mundane things. The way that they interact when they're gardening or cooking. The deep-hearted, full-bellied laughs that Jeremy is able to routinely pull out of Beth. The smile that Jeremy gets when he's done something stupid and Beth starts to make fun of him about it. The way Beth rests her head on the back of his shoulder when she's sleepy, which is typically right after she's had a big glass of water. All of these things and so many more that I'm leaving out, I've had the pleasure of experiencing because I moved out to Denver. For many reasons, me moving here was the best decision I've ever made. But at the top of that list is seeing my brother find the girl of his dreams, fall in love with her, and stand in front of me right now. Now, as the officiant of this wedding, it is my duty to impart on you what it takes to have a successful marriage. Seeing as I am unmarried and super single, I decided to ask close friends and family to give me their advice on what makes for a successful marriage. All these people will remain anonymous unless they want to tell you that it was them, but just know that they represent over 120 years of successful marriage. Trust each other and always tell the truth. Never be afraid to admit you were wrong. kind and gentle to one another. Keep your sense of humor throughout the marriage, which I don't think is going to be an issue. Don't take each other too seriously. Never go to bed angry. Allow each of your individual spirits to survive, because that's what brought you together in the first place, but always put the marriage first. Be willing to compromise on all issues. And finally, be a team, more so especially when you have kids. Now, before we get to the vows, I want to share some poetry from one of the world's greatest love lyricists of all time. I believe his words speak to what Jeremy and Beth have found together. Think about it. There must be higher love, down in the heart or hidden in the stars above. Without it, life is wasted time. Look inside your heart, I'll look inside mine. Things look so bad everywhere. In this whole world, what is fair? We walk blind, we try to see, falling behind in what could be. Bring me a higher love.
Bring me a higher love.
I think we can all agree that if Steve Winwood was a close friend of Jeremy and Beth, his desire to be brought a higher love would have been singularly influenced by the two of them. Okay, it's time. The moment we've been waiting for. Jeremy, do you take Elizabeth to be your wedded wife, to have and to hold, to cherish, so long as you both live? Elizabeth, do you take Jeremy to be your wedded husband, to love and to cherish, so long as you both live? The wedding ring is a symbol of unity, a circle unbroken without beginning or end. With your rings, you seal the vows you have just exchanged. Jeremy, repeat after me. I give you this ring. I give you this ring. As a symbol of my love for you. As a symbol of my love for you. Let it be a reminder. Let it be a reminder that I'm always by your side.
I'm always by your side.
And that I'll always be a faithful partner to you.
I'll always be a faithful partner to you.
Repeat after me. I give you this ring.
I give you this ring
As a symbol of my love for you.
as a symbol of my love for you.
Let it be a reminder
Let it be a reminder
that I'm always by your side.
that I'm always by your side,
And that I will always be a faithful partner to you.
and I always be a faithful partner to you.
By the, I'll take that back. By the power vested in me, by absolutely no state or religious authority whatsoever, I pronounce you husband and wife. Jeremy, you may kiss your beautiful